Hello, welcome to the video solution for Edexcel IAL Mathematics. This is IAL Maths new specification and sample assessment paper 2018, paper P2. So let's start. Question number 1. F of x is equal to x4 plus x cube plus 2x square plus ax plus b, where a and b are constant. When f of x is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 7. Show that a plus b is equal to 3. So we need to prove, or we need to drive this equation using the given condition. So they are saying that if we divide given function with that expression, so the remainder should be 7. So the concept behind this given condition is, look at this given expression, x minus 1. That means if you put x equal 1 in the given function, that means if you try to find f of 1, then it should be equal to 7, which is the remainder. That's the concept that we are going to use to drive our equation. So f of 1, you can say that f of 1, so you replace every x here with 1. So 1 to the power 4 is 1, plus 1 to the power cube is again 1, plus 2x square. So 2 1 is square is just 2, and plus a into 1 is a plus b. And then f of 1 is 7. You can see here. So you can put f of 1 as 7 here, and then you can simplify the right hand side. So 1 plus 1 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4, plus a plus b. And clearly if you see this equation, you send 4 on the other side, so a plus b is equal to 3. That's the required equation. When f of x is divided by x plus 2, the remainder is minus 8. Find the value of a and value of b. Okay, now they are saying that when we divide x with the x plus 2, the remainder is minus 8. Clearly from this given condition, if you substitute x is equal to minus 2, that means if you try to find f of minus 2, so the remainder should be minus 8. So the idea is, because if you see in part B, they are saying that we need to find the value of a and b. We have two unknown to find, and in mathematics this is the key point. If we need to find unknowns, we must have same number of equations as the number of unknown need to be found. So here we have two unknown, so we must have two equation. One equation we have already given, or we derived here. This is equation number 1. So we need to formulate another equation so we can solve them simultaneously. And for second equation, they have given us the second condition. So we can use the same idea as in part A. We can formulate the second equation using the given condition. So we can say that f of minus 2, and then you replace every x in your given function with the minus 2. So if you replace every x, so you have minus 2 to the power 4 plus minus 2 to the power 3 plus 2 times of minus 2 to the power square plus a to the power, a times of a times of minus 2 plus b, and f of minus 2, this is minus 8, is equal to minus 2 to the power 4 is 16. Because of even power, this minus is gone, and 2 to the power 3 is 8, and minus stays there, so minus 8, and due to square minus is gone, so plus 8, and minus 2a plus b. and you can simplify this equation. So minus 8 is gone. 6 plus 8 is 24, gone other side. So you say that minus 2a plus b is equal to 24, or you can say it is minus 24 on the other side. This is your equation number 2. Now you have two equations, you have two unknowns, you can solve them simultaneously and you can find a and b. So that's how you can do that. You can solve them simultaneously. So you have a plus b equal to 3 and minus 2a plus b. So you have a plus b in equation number 2, you have plus b in equation number 1. So you can subtract these two equations. Even you can use elimination method if you wish, but I'm just direct subtracting these two equations. So you can say that you have a plus b is equal 3 and minus 2a plus b equals minus 24, and you are subtracting these. That means you need to change the sign, plus, minus, and then plus. So a plus 2a, now it is 3a, b are gone. So 3 plus 24 is equal to 27, and clearly a is equal to 9. And then if you have a equal to 9, this is a. Then you can substitute a either in equation 1 or equation 2. It's up to you. And you can find the value of b. If you replace, if substitute a in equation number 1, so you can say that a is equal to 3 minus, sorry, because we need to find b. So b is equal to 3 minus 9. That means b equal to minus 6. Question number 2. The first term of a geometric series is 20 and the common ratio is 7/8. The sum to infinity of the series is s infinity. Find the value of s at infinity. So sum to infinity. So sum to infinity, s infinity. The formula for s infinity is a divided by 1 minus r. A is the first term, r is the common ratio. So you just substitute the value. You can say that 20 divided by 1 minus 7/8, and then you can take LCM in denominator. So 20 divided by, take LCM, so 8 minus 1, so 1/8, 8 goes up, so 160. So this is your sum to infinity. The sum of n terms of the series is Sn. Find to one decimal place the value of S12. So for geometric series, sum of n terms Sn is a times of 1 minus Rn divided by 1 minus R. So you can substitute the value. So 20 times 1 minus 7/8 to the power 12, because we need to find S12. So n is equal to 12 divided by 1 minus R, 7/8. If you see this a divided by 1 minus r, this is sum to infinity that we have already found. So you can say that you can rewrite this whole thing as 160 times 1 minus 7/8 whole power 12, like that. And you can use your calculator to figure out 7/8 whole power 12 and minus from 1, multiply by 160. If you do your calculation, then S12 would be equal to 127.7. Leave the answer here because you need to give answer till one decimal place. So 127.7. Part C, find the smallest value of n for which s infinity minus sn is less than 0.5. So you know that we have already found s infinity, and we need to find the for value of n for which we have a difference between these two is less than 0.5. So s infinity is 160 minus Sn, and Sn formula is 20 1 minus 7 by 8 whole power n divided by 1 minus 7 by 8. This is Sn formula, like this one, and it should be less than 0.5. So I just substitute the value. This is S infinity 160 minus Sn formula is this. Again, if you see 20 divided by 1 minus 7 by 8, so again it is a 160. So you can say that this is 160 minus 160, only this, and then in bracket you have 1 minus 7 by 8 whole power n less than 0.5, and then you can take 160 common. If you take 160 common, so 160 inside the bracket you have 1 minus this is 1, and this one become plus because of that minus sign, and 7 by 8 whole power n less than 0.5. These ones are gone, so you can say that 7 by 8 whole power n is less than 0.5 divided by 160, and we need to find n. So n is in the power or exponent, so we will have to use log so that we can take this n down. So we apply log. I'm doing an additional step just for your understanding. If you apply log on both sides, so log of 7 by 8 whole power n is less than log of 0.5 divided by 160. This n now can come down, so n is equal to log of 7 by 8 less than log of 0.5 divided by 160. Clearly, if you use your calculator, so n n log of 7 by 8, log of 7 by 8 will be minus 0.057 less than log of 0.5 divided by 160 will be minus 2.505. Because we need to find n, so we will have to divide the whole inequality with the minus 0.057. And remember, whenever we divide inequality with a negative number, then the sign of inequality flip. So when you send minus 0.057 on the other side, so n would be more than 2.505 divided by 0.057. Minus is gone because minus we have a minus on both sides, but the sign of inequality reversed, and if you do that, then n would be equal to or more than 43.9. that means n is equal to 44. Question number 3. Complete the table below, giving the values of y to 3 decimal places. So we have a column, the top values are of x and y is this, so these are two empty values for y, and you just need to substitute x is equal to 0.5 in this equation. So if y is equal to 3 to the power 0.5 plus 0.5 and the square root, so if you use your calculator, the answer will be equal to 1.494 to 3 decimal places. Similarly, if you substitute 0.75 in place of this x and then x, so your answer would be equal to 1.741. Use trapezium rule with all the values of y from your table to find an approximation. So the trapezium rule, remember the trapezium rule said that the estimated area is equal to half of h y a plus yb plus twice of y1 plus y2 plus y3 and so on. That's how you can estimate the area using trapezium rule, where h is the size of the interval and h is b minus a divided by n, where b and a are the upper and the lower limits. In this case, this is your b and this is your a, while n is number of strips. That means how many intervals do you have in your column, or number of strips. So if you say that from 0 to 0.25, this is your 1 strips. 0.25 to 0.5, this is your second strip. And from 0.5 to 0.75, this is your third strip, and then fourth strip. So n is equal to 4. Now you can find h from here, and you just substitute all the values. These types of questions are quite easy to solve and quite easy marks. So first you need to find h. So h would be equal to b minus a. That means 1 minus 0 divided by 4. That means this is 0.25. 1 divided by 4, so 0.25. This is value of h. Now you just substitute all the values, and in the formula, what are y a and y b? So the very first value of the table, I'm mentioning in blue, the very first value of the y, this is y a. You can clearly see that x equal to 0, which is your a, and this is your b. That means this is y a and this is your y b, and rest of the intermediate values are y1, y2 and y3. If you have more, then you can write y4, y5 and so on. So that's what you need to do. So you need to just say that a is equal to, I should write here, I guess. Let's suppose a is equal to half of 0.25 times of 1 plus 2 plus twice of 1.251 plus 1.494 plus 1.741. And then when you add all these, multiply by 2, so you will get your answer. A is equal to 1 plus 2 is 3, so half of 0.25 divided by 2, so 0.125. Inside the bracket you have a 3 plus twice of 4.486. Then A is equal to 0.125 times of 11.972. If you multiply by 2 and plus 3, and then finally you multiply A with 0.125, so A would be equal to 1.496 or 496. How many decimal places to Bayesian rule table approximate the value of A? You must clearly how you obtain the answer. So okay, fine. So 1.4965. This is your answer. Explain how the trapezium rule could be used to obtain a more accurate estimation for value of this. Of course, because in trapezium rule it's all depends upon the number of strips that we are choosing here. If you increase the number of strips, then we can have a more accurate value. So you can write that the increasing number of strips can increase the accuracy of the estimation. That's how you can write. Question number 4. That type of questions are new in this specification. So given n belongs to n, this symbol is for natural number. Natural number means number starting from 1, 2, 3, 4 and keep moving on. So all the positive whole numbers like that, decimals are not involved, 0 is not involved, and negative numbers are not there. So this is the symbol for natural number. So starting from 1 to positive infinity, these numbers are called natural numbers. So given any natural number, that n square plus 2 is not divisible by 4, and we need to use the technique by exhaustion. So this is called conjecture that we need to prove. So n plus 2 is not divisible by 4. This is called the conjecture that we need to prove using some technique, and the technique here we need to use is exhaustion. So the idea of the exhaustion is we will have to choose a given condition, and we need to apply some possible selection of the number here. So I will be doing here two techniques. One is the straightforward. We just choose some number and we put these numbers in the given condition to prove our conjecture or condition, whatever if you say. So most of the time for easy question, I will be we make a column like n, and then n, because these are the number that we are going to choose from given interval, and then we need to find n square plus 2. So next is n square and then n square plus 2. Then we might need some other reference column here. So because n belongs to natural number, so start from the beginning. Let's say n is equal to 1, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can keep going on. If you wish, you can do till 10, but I'm doing till 7. So these are the value of n, and n square is 1, and then 4, and then 9, 16, 25, 36, and then 49. If you do n square plus 2, so it will be 3, and then 2 plus 4 plus 2 is 6, and then 11, and then 18, 25 plus 2 is 27, 36 plus 2 38, and then 51. Now if you wish, you can say that the nature of number, this is the nature. So 3 is odd number, this is even, I'm writing in short, again odd, and then even, odd, even, and then odd. Clearly the next column you can make it like checking divisible by 4. So for that number, if number is odd, final number is odd, it cannot be divided by. So no. Now this is even number. An even number can be divided by 4. But if you see that this is 6, 6 is not divisible by 4. So you can say that no, it is not divisible by 4. Even they are even number. So how would you justify all these things? So you can say that if n is odd, like here, 1, 3, 5, 7, even 9, if n is odd, that means n square must be odd. This implies that n square must be odd. So if you add 2 in odd number, that means n square plus 2, again it is odd number. An odd number cannot be divisible by 4, so can't be divisible by 4. But if n is even number, that implies that n square is also even number. Like 2 square is 4, 4 square is 16, 6 square is 36, and every square number of even number is divisible by 4. So just square of the number is divisible by 4. But when you add 2 in square, it cannot be, because of that 2, it cannot be divisible by 4. So that's the technique that we use in exhaustion proof. We use some numbers, we apply these numbers, or we enter this number in given conjecture, and we see some results. On the basis of these results, we concluded our final result. That's how we can prove this by exhaustion method. If I get time, then I can. I'm just thinking to make some videos separately to include all those topics that they included in your new specification. Let's see. Question number 5. An arithmetic series has a first term a and the common difference d. Prove that sum of the first n terms of the series is half of n 2a plus n minus 1d. So that means this is basically formula for sum of n terms for arithmetic series. You know that, okay, let's see. Suppose you have arithmetic series a plus, this is the first term, then the second term for arithmetic would be a plus d. This is the second term. Plus third term will be a plus 2d, and the next term would be a plus 3d, and you can keep going on and on and on and on and on. So you know that if you keep doing like that, at the end you have the last term would be a plus n minus 1 d. This is the last term of the arithmetic series. So what would be the previous term, or the second last term? If you see the pattern, a plus n minus 1d, the second last term would be a plus n minus 2d. This is the second last term. What about the third last? A plus n minus 3d, and so on. Now if you add all these terms, that means this is called Sn. So Sn equal to sum of all these terms. So this is Sn. Now I am reversing all the terms. So reversing. If you reverse, then the left hand side remains, I should write here like Sn. Left hand side is Sn, but I'm reversing on only the right side. Reversing means I'm going to write the last term as a first term, is just reversing on one side. So a plus n minus 1 d plus a plus n minus 2 d plus a plus n minus 3 d plus, and so on. And then you can keep going on, and you can do like if you see a plus 2d, a plus d, and then a. So you can say that a plus n minus 1d, like that, and just to make you understand the separate terms. Similarly, this is your like that. Okay, there's a brackets are there. Now, what I'm doing here, I am adding both the equation, the first one and the second one. If you add the left hand side, so the left hand side would be equal to Sn plus Sn. So this is 2Sn equal. Now I am adding the first term in the first equation and the first term in the second equation. So here you have, I'm using some other color. So a, and adding this whole bracket. If you add these two, so a plus a would be 2a, and then n minus 1d plus n minus 1d. This is the sum of first terms in both of the equation, plus. Now we have a plus d, and add this one, the second term. So a plus d plus a plus n minus 1 n minus 2d. So if you add separately, I'm just showing you here, like you can say a plus d plus a plus d plus the second term. So a plus n minus 2 d. Clearly you can see that sum of this would be 2a plus n minus 1 d. That means sum of the second two terms are 2a plus n minus 1 d. Similarly, if you add the third term in the first equation and third term in the second equation, again you have same answer, 2a plus n minus 1d. So 2a plus n minus 1 d, and you keep doing that until you have 2a plus n minus 1d at the end, like that, till n terms. So so how many terms do you have in final summation? So you have n such terms, and all terms are same. So you can finally you can write that you have 2Sn on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you have n such terms, 2a plus n minus 1d. So you can say that n times of 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and then you send 2 on the other side. So Sn would be equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. This is your required proof. You can see here. Half of n or n by 2 same. This is sum of n terms for arithmetic series. Okay, a company which is making 200 mobile phones each week plans to increase its production. The number of mobile phones produced is to be increased by 20. Okay, increased by 20 each week from 200 in week 1 and 220 in week 2, 240. Clearly 200, 220 and 240. So if you see 200 in the first week, and then 220 and then 240, clearly you have a common difference. This is arithmetic series. You have a common difference d as 20, and you have a first term as 200. So until it is producing 600 in n week. So find the value of n. That means you need to find number of week that you reach your target of 600. So that means you need to find nth term. So you know that nth term un is equal to, or capital N, un is equal to a plus n minus 1d. This is the formula for general term, nth term, and n is you need to find. So you can say that the un is 6, because this is the term, because you have a 600. So you need to find basically n. Yeah, find the value of n, and you need to find n here. So un is 600 equal, the first term is 200 plus n minus 1 into d. So you can use your in place of d, it is 20. Now the only unknown in this equation is n, and if you use your algebra and simplify this just equation, and you can figure out value of n. So n would be equal to 21. That means in 21 week the company will reach or will be making 600 phones. The company then plans to continue to make 600 mobile phones each week. Okay, find the total number of mobile phones that will be made in the first 52 weeks starting from and including week 1. Okay, so we need to find basically sum of the total phone. But this sum is not just as easy. We cannot use just direct one formula, because from week 1 to week 21 we are increasing the number of phones, but after 21 we are making 600 phone, or the company is making 600 phone in every week. So first we are going to find how many mobile phones will be making in 21 weeks. So first we need to figure out S21. So S21 would be equal to 21 divided by 2 and 2a plus n minus 1d. So 2 into 200 plus n minus 1d. So n minus 1 is 20 and d is 20. I use that formula for S21. So S21, once you solve this equation, so S21 would be equal to 8400. So these are the number of phones in first 21 weeks. But after then how many weeks left? So 52 minus 21, that means we have 31 weeks. So rest of the 31 weeks the company will be making 600 mobile phone. So the last 31 weeks, so as last 31 is just a symbol, so as 31 would be equal to 600 times 31, it will be 118,600. So the total phone S would be equal to 8400 plus 18,600. That means 27,000 for whole 52 week. Thank you very much, and have a nice time.